the number two is like I always made sure I had smell, all that smell. You never want that aroma. I've been some.
That's worse. That's the worst. You can't roll up on it because it'll.
I've been in so many situations where I'm like, bro, I can smell either the cig off you, or I can,
or just the ass off you. There's just a lot of absolute nonsense.
Do this real quick. She said she gonna feed me.
Welcome to the Any Last Words Pod. My name is Earl Lonnie Hooks. A very, very special thanks to everybody that will be joining us today on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube. The God in me honors the God in each and every one of you. Also, I didn't forget, please do not forget to follow us at ALW Pod on Instagram. Today we have Will. Help me pronounce his last name.
Bullock, yes.
Bullock, got it. Cool. Does anyone ever fuck that up?
Yeah, it's like Bullock. They do lick for some reason. I do not understand that as a Southern thing. Apparently Bullock. I'm related to Sandra Bullock. I have no clue how that's related.
Yours is Bulloch, correct? Isn't her CK?
CK.
Oh, it is CK.
It's CK.
Okay. I don't know where I got that.
No, CH is our Bullock Drive, is where the Regal Max Theater.
Okay, I'm a Manassas nigga. I'm a Manassas nigga. That's what that is. Okay, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
Nah.
How are you today, sir?
I am great, man. I got to see my mom the day before coming on the show, so it's always a great time.
Very nice. How's mom doing?
Mom is great. She is packing up the house. She's going to set up the childhood home. Yeah.
How do you feel?
It's interesting.
Do you hold on to sentimental value for these types of things?
I think sentimental value is certain things of aspects of your life, yes. Like there's certain moments in your life you grasp onto a little bit. Like I said, you live in an area that I used to live at.
Right.
This apartment is the same layout as my apartment, so I'm getting that. Like I was here a couple years ago. That sentimental feel, like that feeling. Like I remember a tree in the back before they do all this fucking construction.
Yeah.
But I like the little things, yeah, because like I still see my old room turned into my dad's upstairs
like office
kind of thing, but it still got the same shaded color blue, same doors, same everything, like my old TV, like everything. So it's like, it's sentimental, but I understand like everything grows, everything changes.
Yeah. Where she, I mean, you don't got to tell us where, but like, is she headed far away or?
I don't think so. She's up in the air with that right now. I think that she really just wants to move forward. The reason why she's selling is because my dad recently passed last year.
Understood.
We were having so much joy. It's like everything's like, yeah.
I love it's gonna go up and it's gonna go down. Yeah.
But no, my dad recently passed. And I understand it's a big house. My mom doesn't want to be the only one there. So, I completely understand that. So I understand that she wants to progress in something else. She might be moving down towards my sister in Richmond.
Okay.
Because she has kids. I do not. So I think big grandmother status. I understand. Big mama status. I understand.
Yeah.
But if she wants to, I live in Alexandria, so I know hell no, she ain't coming nowhere near me.
Yeah.
Prices are outrageous.
Yeah. No, that's love. I grew up with grandmas in my life. Everyone doesn't, but that, it's a huge thing.
And Big Mama's always a thing, man.
Yeah. So I recently lost my grandma. That was in January. Mm-hmm. So could you mind me asking when you lost your father?
My dad was last August.
Oh, last August. Yes. That's still
it's not as hard. I think dealing with loss is different. I think that everyone has different things or different values, but if you look at the certain times that you had with that person, you shouldn't be dwelling on anything else. If you made your peace in bed with it, that's the key thing.
Yeah.
You gotta find your peace in bed with it. And in the black community, we don't see that often. But I also had help with my therapist as well. I'm a black man that goes to therapy, which is not common, which should be more common. But I think that helped out a lot. I think just understanding how my dad moved. My dad was East Orange, Jersey. My dad was a hood, cutthroat military guy, and I'm over here in the burbs. We are not the same.
Yeah. Probably didn't see eye to eye on everything.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you look at different things in different lenses now, right? Like, I was thankful for my dad being able to grow up where he grew up and get out of the places where he was at, to have the opportunity. My mom can sell a house and make some money off of it. So you see, and it's justified means and everything. So if you see it through that kind of lens, I think everything else should be fine. You gotta make your peace in some way.
And so did you feel like you made peace? Like, did you all have peace before? See, that's been my biggest thing with it, because I've known family members to maybe not have the sort of peace that I had with my grandma when she passed on. Cause I came on here talking about it. Like when my grandma passed, I was like, yo, we were solid. Like super, like she left in a house full of people that loved her. She passed in the house. And as far as I'm concerned, with her and I, she knew I loved her. Yes. I knew she loved me.
Yes.
There was nothing. There were no feuds. There was nothing there were no unfinished threads. None of that happened. But if you do have those, that's a completely different thing going on in your psyche. And I don't know how that plays out for people when that happens. So that's why that's not why I was doing it long before that, but that's just another reinforcement, another element of reinforcement that tells me, yo, make your peace with people.
Oh yeah.
I think fucking peace.
I think it's different for everybody. I think it's kind of funny how everything happens for a reason, and everything kind of repeats itself. With my grandfather, before he passed, him and his dad, my dad made peace with him way before then, but they got closer as the years went on. Same thing with me and my dad. When I finally got out the house and started handling my things, right around when I got married, because we were on the rocks a little bit then, with his diagnosis. And when people get diagnosed, you go through the 5 stages of grief kind of thing. Yeah. He was going through one of those stages, and we had tiff. And it was one of those things that had to wake him up. Like, look, man, you gotta fight through this, because we can't all just like bear this. Like, he was depressed at the time. I can understand that now. Cause like, you look at these, like, I can understand that now. But at the time I was like, you gotta wake up a little bit. Like, you still got some life left. Like, have that. So when we had that little tiff, and then we got back together, we actually talked about a lot more things than I expected. It's actually kind of funny, when he's been gone, me and my mother has, really talked about a lot of things, from Pat, like different things that she asked me about that I'm like, all right, if I honestly asked my mom one thing, I was like, you want 100% truth? You want no fluff, no bullshit? Right. And she was like, yeah, I want 100% truth. Just give me straight. I give you straight. So I got a lot of stuff closure between the both of them. And I actually got that feeling of you have a life with your family, right?
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm super not professional. Forgot my charger for the MacBook.
No worries, buddy.
Guys, I promise I'll do better next time.
No worries, bro. Because you know why? These laptops, after 6 months, the battery goes down, bro. Like, I'm a tech guy at heart, guys. Trust me, I understand this more than you know.
And we've been talking about this. My dumbass has just been so hell-bent on, how do I make the content better? How do I make the content better? And then I have people come on here and they talk about the marketing, and they talk about the tech side, and they talk about all these other things that are just as important.
Yes.
But I'm just trying to like beef up the artistry of it. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard for an artist to get into these other lanes, to like try to understand these other things. And you just wish you could just pay everyone and outsource all this sort of stuff. But I don't want to, stampede on your point. You said I live with my family. I have a relationship with my family, with my dad. My relationship with my dad is deep. It's awesome. Usually when I'm able to get him away from the group, it gets pretty superficial when the whole family's around. Like, we just shoot shit, talk about whatever. But when I can extract my dad from that and we have our own sit downs, shit get wild.
Yeah. So for me, it's like you understand, you have your full face with your dad. I felt like at some point with my parents, I was living 2 different lives. My parents saw me one way. I'm out I'm out in the streets doing another. Not wife, I'm not in the streets. But
going by the hype.
Going by the hype, and they really called me that though. But it was really like you live in 2 different lives, right? And you know what kind of collided was actually on the podcast. I did an episode with Farm the Couch. Shout out to them. They're a very stand-up dispensary in the DMV area. Nice. Please follow them on Instagram.
Yes. Shout out Farm the Couch.
Yes. She heard the whole weed dispensary episode. I did not know my mother was going to listen to that.
Yo, why does every artist go through... J. Cole went through this. Why does every artist go through this where they feel like no one's ever going to... Maybe it's because making music, like you're in a booth, you're by yourself, maybe you just got like your friend that's engineering your shit at the time. Yeah. Or you're doing something small. You have no idea how big your podcast is going to be, or that maybe someone close to you actually wants to listen to what you have to say behind closed doors when you're not around them. Like, who is this little nigga when he's not around me?
And I felt that was that moment. That was it. Like, but here's the thing. I thought those moments ended at like 24. But she's the one that bought me the first mic for my podcast. So
you had to see that coming.
I thought she would listen to at least 1 or 2 or 3. I didn't think she would go deep in the freaking in the article. So it was, to me, it was like, okay, mom's actually listening. So she asked me about that, and I had to come truthful about that. But it was at the same time, I knew it would be okay with my mom because she was the only one that can tell the weed smell in the house.
So you had been caught.
I've been caught.
You know what? Not only is she just mom, meaning not only is she maternal, did you come from her, but she's also a female, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking about a higher level of intuition here.
Yes.
So it's like that's what's so funny is we think we be getting away with stuff. And everything. Like, she looking at you the whole time, like boy,
back in my day.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? So that's probably a lot of why she decided to is we have an intuition, some of ours stronger than others, that there's something else maybe deeper going on with someone. It's like, okay, you want to start a podcast. Now, did you start therapy before the podcast?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So now it's like, okay, we know he's a therapy guy and he's about to do a podcast. We don't think that maybe some of the stuff that he's sharing in therapy, being vulnerable, allowing these thoughts to start to percolate in maybe a different way that it wasn't before, isn't going to somehow seep into the podcast. Yeah. Oh, I'm about to click in his podcast. I'm about to see what he's talking about. Like he's making strides in the therapist's office. I'm clicking in on a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. My thing was, one thing with therapy was, it was 2 things I told my wife. Actually, I was the one that told my wife we need to get into therapy before we get married.
So you guys did it together?
Yeah, we did couples therapy.
Fire.
We did couples therapy because there was different things. We want to break generational curses. So the one of the things that we want to do is like, hey, what is our breaking points? So we got there, and the one thing I said, our recommendation, I said to her, I was like, I only do therapy. We do it with a black therapist. I don't care if she's female. I don't care if it's a male or female. It has to be a black therapist because I rarely see that. I don't want to be, because I want someone that can understand me through the same community. And we actually have one. It's a black male, which is very freaking rare. One of my boys was just telling me he's just going through therapy school. He was like, I have 50 people in my class, 2 African American, and there's only 8 males, including myself. It's like, there's low numbers in male therapists. So I can completely understand that. So when we went through that and through that process and understanding each other a little bit more, a lot of stuff came better. Not understanding what I was going through in my life, understanding what she was going through in her life, how her upbringing was, because she's from East Africa. She's from Cameroon. Yeah. Hold up. East Africa. Yeah. So she's from Cameroon. There's different upbringings. I came up in an American household. She came up in a very immigrant household. She is different. So we had to kind of understand each other like that. And then even after we got married, we still go to therapy, I think once or twice a month. And just to check in. But as most of the time, it's just like we're checking in on ourselves. We're doing the same process. And we have certain stuff and stresses. Like, we understand them. Like, we understood that the main thing we understood was when we brought our work stresses home. And a lot of people don't understand that. And for us, it was like, for me, I was in a place that didn't like appreciate me and my value and in a certain place. And for her, she's a nurse and she had to work through the pandemic.
So she probably felt the same.
Yes. And not only that, she's a minority in there. I'm a minority in there as well. And it was a little bit harder. But at the same time, when we understood that more, we're like, all right, we gotta make a change. Within that last 2 or 3 years, she has made 3 job jumps and all increases because she found something that she wants to do, which is dermatology now. And
you said you said dermatology?
Dermatology.
Oh, dermatology.
I was like, dermatologist.
Okay.
She's a nurse for a dermatologist over in Maryland. For me, it was jumping from one IT company to another, which has been amazing. I feel not only just representation, but representation for women in tech, representation in different ethnicities. It's been the whole great 9 yards from that outside of what I've been doing.
Yeah. So when it comes to couples therapy, what, I don't want to ask if it's been
anything goes.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't necessarily want to form this as though it was just like a tip or a tool given to you. But kind of, when you're at the house and you're not going there as often as you were going at one point in time. So how often were you going? So you're going 2 times a month now.
We really actually stick to the same schedule. It's really been like, it was like once a month and once every other month.
Oh, okay.
I think sometimes we do once or twice, depending if we can get fitted in, because a lot of people need therapy in this world. But most of the time, it's been kind of on the same schedule.
So now that you can detect the things that are going wrong, the red flags, what is the number one tool or method that you do to try to de-escalate and unpack?
For me, it's trying to get her to say, well, not for me, it's not even like projecting to her. It's just making sure that the house is good for her. The one thing I've realized about my wife is when she wants to come home, she wants to be relaxed at home. So I try to make sure whatever that is, or if anything needs to be tidied up before she gets there. That's for me a pride thing. Cause it's like, all right, she comes home, she can de-stress. Cause she used to grew up with like, very, not a loving family, but it was like, you gotta get stuff done certain times, anything. While we come up in an American household, we're a little bit more lax and certain things like that. So, but just stepping up in that plate like that, understanding that, and also understanding that like sometimes, like, look, wives are going to cook. That's great. Every once in a while, I gotta be out there and like, know what? I can shut down for the night. Let me cook for my wife real quick. I
think that's you.
Siri, I didn't.
You talking to Siri? Siri just be popping up in conversation sometimes.
Google Home's been creeping me the fuck out, bro. I got like 3 of them, and every once in a while they be chirping into our conversation. It's bad. My FBI agent's been listening to a lot of shit. But no, like it's just realizing like certain things. Like you gotta be proactive. Once you get married, you cannot, or you get engaged, you cannot stop courting your wife. And that's the one thing. Or courting your husband too, ladies. That's one of the things we stopped doing. You gotta like make it a little bit spicy. You gotta understand, not too spicy, fellas, but you gotta make it like, just make it like how you know me would. It's nothing about, it's just a title, but you still gotta be that person.
Not
regardless.
Too spicy. What goes to your mind when you say hey, so I found this chick outside. Like, is it cool? Can we try this?
No, it's going down the dark web and seeing something that you're like, no, what, this might be nice. Try at home, and then no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work well.
Well, you gotta have those sorts of conversations. You have to know who you're dating, though. That's what I'm saying. Yes. Like, just trying to just jump into something that you guys have never had any sort of conversation.
You gotta have a conversation.
So this is what I'm thinking. This is something that I've sort of found, and I think that this is something revelatory for people in relationships. We always use these extremely beautifully said and just as old as dust sayings, trust. Trust. It's the key to everything.
Yes.
It's the infrastructure. Without it, you have nothing.
Facts.
I don't know if people always know exactly what that looks like or how it manifests itself. So I think that there are times when you can not trust your partner to do a certain thing, and it may be a smart thing for that to be the case because there is no history involved that would be indicative of that person needing to be trusted to do said thing. If I'm a terrible planner, like I can't plan for shit, my coordination skills are terrible, I'm going to have us at the wrong place at the wrong time, I didn't get to rent a car, like whatever the case is, then I shouldn't be trusted to make the plans for our vacation or whatever it is. So I can't come at the significant other and say, why don't you trust me? Like, why don't you trust me to do this thing? Like, so you don't trust me? It's like, no. There are some things that I can trust about your character, but I don't trust you to do this thing. There's just been nothing just historically, there's been nothing that you've ever done that would tell me that I should trust you to do this thing in particular, But I think when people are talking about trust, it's at a very, very deep character level. And it sounds something like, what you're really trusting from someone is that when you're having a conversation with them, especially a difficult one, you can trust that they're not trying to pull any funny shit on you.
Yeah.
That they're not trying to manipulate you, that they're not trying to do something deceitful, backdoor, mischievous, and try to get their own way, right? That they're not trying to gaslight you and turn you insane. Like, they're not trying to do any of these mind games. That you can trust that they have good intention, that we're both here to actually come to an understanding about something. And I've learned that because of some of your own shit going on, you can misinterpret something that they're doing as, or what are they trying to do right now? Are they trying to, jaded? Yeah, like, are they trying to start an argument right now? Mm-hmm. Like, what are they referencing to something that happened before? Like, they said that they were over that thing. Are we actually done with that? Mm-hmm. You start having these misguided thoughts about their intentions. Mm-hmm. And so if you are to truly trust someone, truly in their character, then really I think what you're trying to say is you want to default to truth.
Yes.
You want to say, okay, like in my mind, I'm fucked up right now because I think she's trying to start an argument with me. Or I think that she's trying to do something that is indicative of something nefarious. Something that is corrosive to this moment. She's not actually trying to build a bridge and understand each other right now. And if that's the case, then I'm not saying that I trust her intentions. Okay. Well then, if I'm saying that, then I'm not being true to what my oath is here, which is I need to default to truth. I need to default to belief. I need to sit back and say, okay, if I am to believe that I trust their genuine intention here in this moment, then it now changes and shifts my entire thought process. And it shifts my entire way of questioning and inquiring about what it is they're saying. So now it's not like, man, why you keep bringing this shit up? Like, you always do this. Now, instead of something like that, it's, okay, you said something that seems like some trope, some running trope that we have going on in a relationship. This is the way I'm seeing it. But I know that you wouldn't do that because I trust your intention. Yep. So tell me where I'm getting this wrong. Like, tell me where I am losing out on what it is you're saying. Because there's clearly some misunderstanding here. Yep. So I find that to be the biggest thing that people can try to work on when it comes to being a couple is defaulting to truth. If you are to truly state that you believe in this person, in their character, in their beautiful qualities that you deem to love.
Yeah. Two things on your statement.
Yes.
One, the first thing is when I learned in therapy was that there's one word you do not really want to say and comes to your fights is saying always. Always is always a freaking trigger word. Regardless of whatever you saying. Yeah. If you say someone say, man, you always do this, you're going to hear something afterwards. The second thing I would say, I totally agree with you on about your attentions, everything. I'm going to bring up a funny story about this, right? Mm-hmm. So I recently had to take my wife over to upstate New York because we had to go to West Point. We had to go to West Point for graduation, right? Traveling for 4 or 5 hours. Like you said, there's certain aspects you trust in your partner to do. I trust my wife with the trip. I don't trust her with the departure time. She was trying to tell me we're leaving at 9 a.m. when I already know John Hopkins is going to be graduating that weekend, which is in Baltimore, which is up the way. And all these other schools are going to be graduating. Nah, we got to get out by 6, 7. That's one thing. Another thing is about trusting your intentions. So we get to West Point. I'm thinking we're going to get something to eat. She told me on the way up there, hey, we're going to get something to eat. I am not trusting the fact that we're going to get something to eat as soon as we get in the area. However, we had to make an audible because her brother needs some help moving some luggage around. I have no problem with that. Shout out to Dean, by the way, second lieutenant. I have no problem with that, but you told me I trusted you. I trusted you.
I love how dramatic it is. I trusted you
to make sure my belly will be full.
Right.
And now said trust is out the damn window. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I had my little tiff, and she let it be what it was. And it was actually one of the first times she let it be because I had my little tiff. We got done with her brother. We went to Five Guys afterwards. I sat down and ate. She's like, now you feel better? I'm like, yes, I am sorry. So like you said, trust is a big thing. It can be big, it can be small. For me, I try to trust her with my stomach.
Yeah.
And that didn't plan out for me. But you gotta set your default mode into, let me just get through this real quick. Yes. She says she gonna feed me. I'm gonna get fed.
She said she gonna feed me.
I'm gonna get fed.
Let me tell you what I love about this story. Is because you're talking about your wife. You can clearly tell that there's clearly a ton of love and effort that both of you put into this relationship.
Yes.
So as soon as you start talking about it being a trip and food being involved, you realize that this is going to be utter bullshit.
Yes.
That when it comes to this, it's not really going to matter. And when you, what I always say is build a brick house because I always.
Oh man, that's my favorite saying.
Yeah.
Favorite saying.
So like when you build that with someone, you realize, listen, this was some bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was tripping.
Yeah.
And I love to be able to have these little moments where you see that and you realize this ain't because when you go through rigorous shit, like really rigorous stuff, everything else seems like pennies.
It is cakewalk, man.
Nothing.
Cakewalk. Like we went through so much. I've been with the downside of my relationship, but not even downside. That's so wrong to say. I've been with my
edit point.
Please edit this. No, I've been with my wife for about 10 years. Yeah. We're about to be married for 2 years in October. The one thing I will say about my wife is that we have grown together to the point where we know each other's tips. We know each other where you say you're going to do something, we own up to that thing. So for me, it's not, she knows when we both get hangry, look, man, you got to feed me within a certain amount of minutes.
Damn.
Or it's going to be some problems in this.
Certain amount of minutes.
It's going to be some moved furniture around this month. Nah, but it don't get like that. But it's just one of those things where you learn that, it's pennies. That's pennies.
It's pennies.
Because at the end of the day, like, look, we get this done 10 minutes, we can get some McDonald's. Ain't no problem.
Yeah.
Ain't
I would expect Jiu-Jitsu for you. Wait, Jiu-Jitsu, correct?
Yes.
I would expect Jiu-Jitsu to have been one of those things for you. Because it's not easy.
No.
Right? And you're a purple belt now?
Yes.
And starts at white, blue, purple, brown, black?
Yes.
Okay. That's not easy.
Yes.
How long have you been doing that? How long did it take you to get the purple?
So it took me, because of COVID, and really COVID kind of pushed back everybody's,
yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even say progression. It would be more of like proper, belt placement.
Yes.
But that's not a shot. Look, I got my belt. I'm happy with it. I got it when I got it. I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it.
And people were dealing with a whole lot worse things than not getting a purple belt in
Jiu-Jitsu. Some people are trying to figure out how they're going to get their lungs. It's okay.
Right.
It's all right.
Right.
So I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu about 7 years. The main reason why I wanted to get into Jiu-Jitsu, the stuff I'm doing now, it was like a fantasy back at white belt. The main reason why I would be in Jiu-Jitsu was because I really didn't like guns at one point. And I want to learn how to,
At one point.
Now. With the shit going on, you saw the riots were like down the street from us, bro. And at that moment, I was like, know what? I'm gonna need some guns. But nah, I'm also trained on that as well. But nah, main reason I got into Jiu-Jitsu because I kept on. I would serve tables, worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, worked at BJ's. You eat where you live, and I gained pounds. I was up to like maybe 240, 250. Made a promise to myself as soon as I got the industry, I'm gonna lose the weight. Got out, got a banking job, and then the nurse came in, and the nurse said I had high cholesterol. I was like 24, 25 around the time. No, hold on, nope. I was about 22, 23. My bad. 22, 23. And I'm like, my parents already got health issues. Right. I'm coming in with health issues. And I get headaches, so I have migraines left and right, because I think I was having a lot of sugar. And that's how you start catching me at the gym. Once I started doing jiu-jitsu, I told the nurse, I'm about to do jiu-jitsu. She's like, you're going to lose 20 pounds, no problem. And sure enough, like 4 weeks, I lost 20 pounds.
4 weeks.
And then I started getting my diet right. So I started dieting correctly. Got down to about 195. And I was cool. I got down 195 as a white belt. And then I injured my shoulder at a tournament, had a setback from that. And then I haven't been down to 195 in like 4 years. I'm about 212 now. Okay. But I flutter between 200 and 220.
And that's like a proper resting weight. That's
resting weight. Like 212 right now to me is like, all right, I'm good. Mm-hmm. If I really want to get in the lower bracket, I can in the proper training, proper eating. But recently I've been, thinking about doing the 220 bracket, which is one of the fights I was actually in, last weekend, at RJCC1. I was at a super fight. So a super fight card, I know that, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask the 220 bracket that goes up to what?
So the 220, so certain brackets in certain divisions in certain tournaments. I know this is complicated because it's so certain, but certain tournaments have certain weight brackets. So for me, a normal tournament for me for medium heavies between 195 and I think 205.
Okay.
And then 205 to 215 is, I think they're heavy, and then the super heavy is 220 plus. You get the big boys. You get the farm bred people out there. That's
220 plus.
Some of them. So I think for example, Grappling Industries, I think their super heavy starts at 240. And I think the heavy starts between like 210 to 240 or something like that. I'm all messed up. I haven't grappled over there in a couple years actually, but the recent super fights I've been at, which is Cobra Elite and RJCC1, they match you up to a certain weight. You get certain allowances. So I'm our Cobra Elite. I had to be 208 in the gi. I was about, I think 202, 203, even on the scale. I didn't have to put the gi on. And for when I got around for RJCC1, it was a last minute one because I was actually waiting for an opponent at 208. No one was showing up for 208. I was like, you know what? I might not be able to do it. Well, one, I was like, it was a week out and I've already been training hard. I was like, man, I'm not going to try to cut. They're not giving me an opponent. And then like on Monday, Tuesday, they said they had a guy at 220. They offered it between me and one of my boys, Brian. Brian said he couldn't do it. I was like, I'll take it. I had no problem taking it. Hey, look, man, when there's smoke, run it up the chimney.
Okay.
Okay. So so for me, it was comfortable. It was the first time I did 220 in 6 years. I haven't done 220 bracket since I was first started as a white belt. And I got smashed.
I was gonna ask, how did that smoke go?
And that smoke, that chimney was out cold, bruh. But not even like that. I don't even brag about my jiu-jitsu like that, to be honest. Because it's all about my teammates for me. It's all about the people I have around me. Regardless how I go, because I want them to be great. And I'm just lucky enough to be on the ride.
That's kind of the culture, isn't it?
Yeah. It's individualism and group at the same time. Like you train with your boy, you train with your group. For me, it's big, Leo Dollar, under Leo Dollar, the Big Brother affiliation. So there's several. There's one up the street from here, Dominion. It's actually like right off of 28. So, not 28. Whatever, Balls Ford. So, no, that's not Balls Ford. What the hell am I at right now? That is Wellington. Wellington. Wellington Road. That's off Wellington Road. So, for me, it's always when I first got in there, I remember this clear as day. I remember I came in there with a big head after I did like some light stuff on Sunday, came in on Monday, and I was like, man, I'm big, bad, whatever, I can do whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then my boy Cass, he's about $140. He was a blue belt at the time. He's about 4 inches shorter than me, short guy. And I was like, go against him. And Cass whooped my ass. And I'll say he whooped my ass. And then from then on, I was like, all right, this is how I gotta get better. I gotta learn how to use my weight, learn how to do the things. And to be honest, most of the time, when I do competitions, it's because sometimes I feel like doing it. At the most of the time, I don't feel like being there because you gotta sit on weight. But the same time, it's like when I'm in the gym with some of these competitors, I'm like, I want to do better than these guys. I want to be better than this. And we got some killers at the gym and all around affiliates. So it's like, I get in those training camps where people are training for big comps like Worlds and stuff like that. And you get some high quality roles.
And so was it the competitive nature in you that took you from a white belt, the place where you thought that being at a purple belt was a dream?
Yeah.
Is that what drove you? I mean, it was you wanting to get in shape. Mm-hmm. Right at first, but then I guess maybe you kind of fell in love with the technicalities of it. Mm-hmm. And then also you had people rooting you on there because you had that sense of community. So it was just an amalgam of things that came together.
It's an amalgam of things. It gave me a lot of structure. One thing I owe Jiu-Jitsu is Jiu-Jitsu gave me how to do life over again. Reason why I say that, because when I went into the gym, I did not know shit about my personally, how to handle stuff, understand, I met so many good friends outside of the mats of like learning stock, learning marketing, like you said, learning all that stuff that got me back into the school, got me back into, being into IT and doing the places I'm doing now. So Jiu-Jitsu made me have a second life outside of it. So I always feel in debt to that to a certain extent. The other thing was, yes, pure competition. I've been one of those guys. I'm a competitor at heart. I can't shy away from that one. That one I definitely cannot shy away. But the third one is really like, I really just wanted to be in the room. If I'm here long enough, I'll be here. And then eventually graduate from, I'm in the room. Oh no, I want some smoke. I want to be competitive.
Okay.
Then went from, all right, I got my purple. What do I need to do here? It's like, oh no, I got to refine my tools. I still need to be on top of my game. but also be willing and able to teach the younger generation behind me about how to do proper moves. That's the other aspect that I'm actually really enjoying right now. And it's kind of funny because when everything happened with my pops, I actually got promoted a week before my dad passed. Right.
Okay.
So I remember, yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
I remember 2 days after he passed, I remember I didn't go to jiu-jitsu that night. I didn't go to jiu-jitsu the next night. Went to jiu-jitsu the day after that. And I just rolled. And at that moment I realized, I was like, this is where I want to be. And then it came from, I did that. I remember I got off the mat. I was like, I'm not going to do any competitions. I'm not going to do anything competitive for a year. I want to give it a break. I actually wanted to do Worlds, which was actually early June. That's what I wanted to do because that was the one competition I wanted my dad to come out with me. We're going to do Worlds together. That was the one. So I was like, I'm planning to come back in June. And then both times, Copa Elite and RJCC1, fights fell through. I got hit up and I was like, yeah, I take the smoke, and I've been great. And it's just, I've been lucky enough to be blessed enough to have great training partners along the way and just being my focus and having that game plan. But I'm sorry I'm spiraling, but it's just like, I fell into jiu-jitsu, just happened. It really was like it really happened like this. My wife introduced me to jiu-jitsu. She had a friend, shout out to Bill Acton, his wife talked to him. He sent me up there to Dallas and I just never left. And that's why I take it as. I'm not there to be the baddest guy there. I'm nowhere near that. I'm nowhere near the skill. I'm nowhere near the strongest. But I'm there to learn. I'm there to help others.
Yeah, no, the reason I don't care about you spinning your wheels here, because everything that has come out on this podcast so far has really had to deal with therapy.
Yes.
Every single, therapy has touched every single thing that we've talked about.
Yes.
And when I'm asking you, well, one, we're talking about doing things that are incredibly difficult and rigorous on the body and on the mental, spiritual, all these different things. And then when you start stepping into other things that may be difficult to other people, or maybe would have been difficult for you 3 months ago or a year ago, now you're looking at it, like you said, a cakewalk.
Yeah.
And so you actually going to therapy and dealing with these moments where you don't know if you're going to get fed or not. Then you're going into jiu-jitsu and you're expelling energy. You're having the humbling experience of getting your ass whooped, which is great. You're learning a ton of things by being in the room and having the conversations. And then also you do stand-up comedy.
Yes. Dude, and my wife doesn't know what to do with me.
Yeah, these all seem like just ways of getting what's inside out to some degree. Like whether you're just expelling physical energy and you need to do that because you made a joke before, we're going to get some furniture moving in this house. Well, you don't have to move the furniture in the house because you rolling with people on the mat. Yeah. So just getting that out in some way or another, some avenue is helping you in these other avenues. Now you're getting up on stage in front of people.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is most people's biggest fear in life.
Yes.
And you're doing that. Now, do you have that fear at all? Does it come up at all? And you just battle it?
It's really well, let me say this, how I got into comedy. I got into comedy because I started doing podcasting. The reason why I want to do the podcast and then go to these and then be doing comedy is because I get to do two things. I learn how to talk to my people, my viewership on my podcast. And I also learn how to talk to people randomly in crowds and everything in comedy as well. And on top of that, like I said, with my podcast, I like to do everything about the DMV. The DC, Maryland, Virginia comic scene. I'm going to tell this y'all right now. I'm going to look in the camera too. It is the top 3 best comic scenes you will ever experience in your life.
Oh, wow.
It is top 3. New York is 1.
Heavy statement.
New York is 1. The DMV is definitely number 2. Because New York's the hub. New York's the hub of the basement dwellers, all that shit.
Okay.
Number 3, I will honestly say, is either between Los Angeles, because you got some comics out that way, or Texas. I think that's a tie.
Yeah, I'm hearing about this.
Texas is like that, because Texas and DC and all these areas, and another thing I love about comedy, and then we're going to answer your question, it's the one place you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. and a lot of people are with it. We hear a lot of jokes. You hear a lot of jokes about different things, but no one is highlighting it like how the news is. And you have people from different sides of the tracks. You have different people from different communities, and everyone has something to say to the table. And it's a beautiful freaking thing. And the best nights in my comic career has been able to, like, you ever been in a comic show, first off?
Yes, I've been to three.
Three. What do you, if you recall from any comic shows, did you remember you had a laugh that lasted the entire night?
A laugh that it lasted?
What I mean by that is every comic hit you with something and you were just like, this lineup is fucking fire.
Yeah. One. And it was the dude that played Uncle Elroy on Next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We went to go, I forget his name, but me and my family went to go see him. Mm-hmm. That lineup was fucking hilarious.
I've been part maybe 3 or 4. One of the recent ones was the Shooter's Bar one I went to, this past week. And we had a malfunction with the mic, but every comic took it like a spoken word. We were fucking riffing every fucking thing in sight. But those nights, those moments are magical. When people cannot gasp for air because they're laughing so hard. Those are the nights I live for. That's my main thing about introduction in comedy. Now back to your question. Yes, I was scared as fuck because one of the things about, one lesson I took from Jiu-Jitsu, I made into comedy, be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Okay.
With comedy, I had to be comfortable with my own voice. Same thing with podcasting. I had to understand my own voice, understand what makes my voice, what people love about my voice, what people don't like about my voice. How can I land that? Number 2 thing about comedy is, how can I set up my punchlines? Am I more of a storyteller or am I more of I just do punchline? And people are different comics. So I had to understand that too. So I had to be uncomfortable with be comfortable with uncomfortable. I had to figure out how to attack this. And one of the things that it just brought it out so much more being these comic shows, doing these open mics. I used to be, I started comedy. It was actually with comedy. I was supposed to start turning of, what's it called? I did an open mic in January 2020. COVID happened in March.
Yes.
And I was going to be like all the shows in DC. COVID happened. Everything got shut down. Comics were doing comedy on Zoom.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
I just saw
I was a part of
Noah
that.
do like one of those old ones from back in the day, or not back in the day, but the 2020 when it was just him in the studio.
Yeah.
Like there was no one else, and you have to tell jokes, but there's no applause, there's no laughter, but you still have to go through the jokes, but you're not hearing any feedback. It's kind of like, ugh.
It's dude. It's even worse when you're on stage and you try to make a punchline and you don't hit the punchline. Boy, you have to laugh it off and keep it moving. And you gotta figure out how to get the air back in the room because boy, dog, that shit hurt. You think you want to know the one thing about jiu-jitsu? You know when you stink. People will tell you when you stink. With comedy, like we waiting. Jiu-jitsu, people will tell you. You don't. Everybody gonna tell you good job and all. Nah, you gonna know. You gonna feel it immediately.
But yeah, that's rough, man. Because I would assume, because when I'm in the crowd at a comedy show, I'm on the comic side.
Yes.
Like I would think that we're on, like we all came here to have a good time.
Yes.
Like we want you to be funny. We want you to be whatever it is that you think you are. We want you to be the apex of your game. Yes. If you're a punchline guy, if you're a storyteller, if you're kind of just one of these super animated loud guys and that's sort of your comedy. If you're like a Jim Carrey type and you just do like the wild facial expressions and you move around weirdly. Maybe you're just like really dry. You're like a witty, dry type of guy and you're just going to stand in one spot, but there's something about that that's fucking amazing and hilarious on itself. Even before you start talking, you're just funny because you're just standing there dryly like you could give a shit less to be here.
Yeah.
There's something funny in that. But it's gotta be the most cringe thing when you're just not good because we want it for you so bad. And we're empaths. Like we're social beings. I take that on. When I see you up there not be good, I take that on. Now I'm upset at you for making me feel the way that I'm feeling because you suck.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, that's tough, man.
It's hard, but
exhilarating. I'm certain.
Oh my God. Even when I bomb, even I've had bomb. I still bomb. I've had good nights. I had bad nights. But when I bomb or when I have a good, I feel I learn more when I bomb than when I succeed. The reason why I say that,
I believe you,
because when you have those good nights and you're gonna have a good couple nights, it's gonna be great. I tell you this. So this past week, I've been outside every fucking day.
Nice.
So Sunday I had a open mic at Wasted Lounge. Shout out to Yachty. She gave me a shot over there. I felt like I didn't do too well. I knew that. I immediately knew as soon as I got off stage, I'm like, damn, I could have been better. Could have been tighter. Tuesday happened with over at my boy Shooters. Did an amazing job. Felt amazing. Had a great time. Great time. Wednesday at Adams Bomb. Great time. Good time. Felt like my jokes took a little bit longer than it needed to be. And I felt like I should have been better. Should have been tuned up. That's cool. That's fine. So when I find, like, you have good nights and you have bad nights. That's fine. But each of those nights, you learn what you can do better. And that's the main thing from it. But the DC comedy scene, the out here, it is different. For jiu-jitsu and for comedy out here, you will never understand that the Harry Potter in the corner might be able to do a triangle on you, or he might be the funniest motherfucker in the room. And that's what I love about the DMV, because either the DMV comic or jiu-jitsu, it's different out here. It is definitely different. I've had amazing, comedy out here is so different.
So this is a little bit of a nerdy process question,
Mm-hmm.
but more so, you have your writings that you do, right? Yes. And you have whatever process you have for that. And then I also saw you do this thing, and you just used the word here, like a riff bucket.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, I could probably imagine which one is a bit more difficult, but maybe not, because people do work differently. I work different. I know that I'm never a person, I've talked about that on here before, that wanted to write their papers out. I hated that. I wanted to know the information really well and turn it over in my head and look at it from every angle I possibly could. Then I'm just going to go up there and speak about it, because I know the information, so I'll be able to speak on it. I never wanted it to get stale and write it out. That wasn't me. So, which one do you like more, or is it even a matter of liking one more? Is it just different? Like, oh, this is my favorite child. I just love you guys differently.
Look, my way of doing comedy is different. There's guys that write everything out. I'm more of, give me a topic. I can kind of figure it out in a week or so, and I try to spit it into what I have. Right now, I'm kind of failing that aspect, so I'm probably going to be writing a little bit more, but I like that aspect. It actually made me better for Riff Bucket, in my opinion, because Riff Bucket, you can get a topic of like, you got to think of the most funniest thing in 5 seconds.
And the Riff Bucket, are those riffs, those little scenarios, is that from the crowd, or
they add, for Adam's Bomb, they do from crowd and from comics.
Okay.
My first one was Hallmark holiday movies. And I said, is this I was like, no, not R. Kelly, Whitney Houston. And then I immediately, when I got back to the chair, I think the comics or something was like, you immediately thought about Whitney Houston and R. Kelly for Hallmark movies. I was like, yeah, I'm on a spectrum. And I yelled back from the crowd. I was like, yeah, I'm on a spectrum from, either you're a pedophile or crack cocaine addict. And I tried that joke the next weekend, completely washed on the other crowd. I was like I thought I had a banger, yo. I thought I had it. I heard that. I was like, man, dude, I thought I had a banger. It did not hit. It was with a black crowd. It was with a black crowd too. But they must have felt bad for the Whitney Houston thing. But they must have felt bad for the Whitney Houston.
Yeah, both touchy subjects. But I get what you're saying. It would matter also the crowd that you're dealing with.
Oh yes.
So you got to kind of feel the crowd out. Now, my usual co-host, he's a DJ, and that's something we talk about all the time too. Is he will make set lists, but also he's got to get up there and he's got them headphones on and he's hearing the music and he's watching the crowd as he's playing music, and he's thought, okay, nah, like I had this on the set list, but nah, that ain't gonna cut it no more. Yeah, like, now I got to make an audible. I got to do something else. I got to play this after that. That's what's gonna get them hot. Or dang, this was on the set list. They're not even fucking with this. So I can't just move to the next joint. That okay, now I got to make a real shift in this. So I'm assuming that you got to do the same thing. I don't know how much through your written work is allotted for looseness and for you to just kind of riff in the middle of writing, because you're thinking, okay, you know what, this ain't quite going the way I thought it was. Back at the house, I had the wife laughing like, this ain't quite it.
She laughs at everything, so it ain't gonna work.
Oh, see, that's another thing. So do you have people like that you can go to, or you just try out all your stuff?
Try and error, man. And it's harder that way. No, not even hard. I like it that way better because I don't want my friends to laugh just to laugh. I don't want that. What I want, because my friends are always gonna laugh at what my stuff is. What I want is if I can go to a room and make you believe I'm the funniest person in the room. That's the feeling I want. Now, for your question of, hold up, what was your question?
Well, I was asking you which one that you liked more. I didn't know if it was a more thing or if you just liked them differently for different nights.
So yeah, there's certain jokes I do on repeat. I remember Shooter's Bar. There's one chick who was at the last set. She was like, "I love that joke you did with your wife in Hawaii." I was like, "All right, I'll do it again tonight for you," just because she asked me. So I did that one. And I actually made it a little bit better and actually freestyle a little bit better and make that work. But yes, there are jokes that I have like in my pocket from experiences that I want to use. And I look out in the crowd. I'm like, this is not going to fly tonight. And we go from there. Like I rarely do. So I won't even say rarely do. I won't even say I don't do, there's certain bars I don't touch. There's certain bars I don't touch. Every comic has their limits. I just steer away probably from one or two.
Okay.
That's just my personal thing. Mm-hmm. But most of the time with my jokes, I hit everything depending on the crowd. If the crowd's a little bit more, if it's a little bit more suburban than what I thought it would probably be, I'm gonna save the 911 jokes for later.
Suburban.
I don't want, like, my thing is, I've been on sets in Maryland and in the area where it's a mix of comics and there's a mixed crowd. You can get yays from one side and quiet from another. That's going to happen. That's fine. But when it's predominantly something, some stuff might not fly in that. And that's cool. And that's fine.
Yeah.
My thing is, I might want, now the challenge is, what jokes can I hit that's going to resonate with them that I can make them laugh and I can still get my point across. That's another level.
The art. That's the art.
Because most of my stuff, when it's more suburban, it's like when I went to the West Point graduation, bro, like I'm gonna be honest with you right now. White people, y'all gotta figure out what y'all wearing for graduation because it was not cutting it. Like
what wearing as the guest? Like,
no, like what you wearing to, like I saw black people wearing like Sunday service, cool, freaking sundresses out season. Everything was perfect. Why? Like white women, I know y'all talking to y'all mothers. Y'all gotta get your moms up to date with some stuff out here. What
do they wear?
It was horrible, bro.
What do they wear?
I had never seen.
Observations.
My observation was every dad was on hoochie dad mode because they had the high shorts with the freaking what's it called?
Some boat shoes?
Not the boat shoes. What's the sandals with the little strap over with the socks in them?
Those always made me laugh. Where's socks with the sandals always made me laugh.
And then I never seen so many, like, I understand women, y'all gonna have y'all heels. Y'all should wear your heels and then you gonna switch out to your flops later. Every female I saw had flip flops. And I'm like, this is West Point. Like, we came in, I saw none but black people wearing Sunday service shit. I swear to God.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. It really does. I grew up in a Baptist church, and if you have in a black Baptist church, there was a certain way you were going to dress. Like there was a certain way grandma was getting you ready to go to church.
Yes.
But then if you ever transitioned or some of your white friends invited you to their church,
oh my God. You gonna come up prepared? You gonna come like this to the Lord?
You gonna come you flip flops and it's like whatever you want to wear.
I had the most culture shock in my life. That church off of freaking 28 or 29, and I think it's Life Church. Is a
Life Church? Okay, I think that there's a Life Church.
Yeah, because the one that was next to the golf course, and the golf course got shut down or whatever thing, all that sort. But I remember I went there because the girl I was dating at the time, her family went there, and I went inside because I was wearing. Because I remember my parents were asking me, she was like, so what are you wearing for church? It was like, I can wear jeans and a regular shirt, be fine. They're like, what church you going to? I'm like, I don't know. They said they want to go to Sunday service. I'm like, I'll go to Sunday service. And I saw everybody in there wearing that stuff. I'm like, yeah, look, I go to Baptist church. I've actually gone to several different churches. I like religion. I'm a big
that does not
I like religion.
I like religion. That sound like a goddamn lie.
I like religion. No, I've been to like there's certain attire for every religion.
Yeah.
I've seen. I've been to like a Jewish temple. I've been to different Catholic churches. I've never seen a Catholic church dressed like that. I've been Baptist. I've seen Methodist. I've gone to a mosque. And prayed several times with some of my friends over there in certain attires. Like, and when I saw this church, I'm like, this ain't right. like I'm sorry, but it's just
they chilling,
they
man,
chill
because they like, oh, we got our own relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
God gonna love us regardless of what we wear in here. And that's the thought on it.
That's the type of church that's gonna be out by noon, so the dad can watch football at 1:00.
Hey man, listen, I'm not mad at it because when Grandma was dragging us, we was in there from 8:00, and I think we had like Sunday school first, so that's why we had to go early. And she was a part of like every board in there. She was like the heart of the church. Okay. So she had her hands in everything. She was bringing food. She was playing the piano. She was doing like Black history lessons in there. Mm-hmm. She was just everywhere doing everything. So we had to go to Sunday school. Then after that, I think we had the huge sermon where everybody filed in and went there. And that shit was like 4 hours long. And then depending upon the day, I had to go to choir practice as well because she threw me on the choir. So sometimes I was going there and I was at church anywhere between 4 to 6 hours.
That's too much.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I was like, bro, Grandma, please, no. Like, so when you grow up like that, you can easily grow an aversion towards that sort of structure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be there all day and you dress me up like this. And this is all mad uncomfortable. The ties all up in my
church in the summer is a sin, I swear to God. Cause that it'd be hot. It'd be hot. Like, man, like, look,
and you in a room full of people just screaming. It's just hot breath circulating.
Yes. But I mean, it's our people though. Like, I don't really mind, like, I don't mind it. Like, to me, it was weird to me, regardless of where I go or what part of the nation I'm in, it always happens. And it's just weird. Yeah. It's very, very freaking weird to me. But not like, I rarely, in terms of jokes, I touch mostly everything except like those two, really. And it's just personal reasons.
I like the idea of riffing a whole lot simply because, again, it's what I love to do. I do this podcast without notes and without you scripting things out because there's something beautiful about rooting yourself in the moment and just allowing all the information because there's more than enough information here for us to work with. That's one. Two, there's something awesome about that challenge.
Yes.
Challenge yourself in going through the rigmarole of just rigorous, in-depth exchange at a moment's notice.
I really like it because, I'm sorry to cut you off. I really like to riff off like that. And because like when I do certain sets, I have certain words. And then and depending on how I feel, I can make it an exaggeration. I can quiet it down a little bit. I like to have control of that kind of situation. Especially the riff bucket is really, honestly, that I was kind of upset that I got Hallmark holidays, but look, it's luck of the draw because I really wanted a Joe Biden. I wrote Joe Biden down the riff bucket because I had whole things in my notes where I was, Joe Biden, I bet. And when my notes, I was like, all right, Trader Joe.
Trader Joe.
I was like, Trader Joe, like you trade all these, like your sex for, like I had all these types of shit. Like, I was so ready to do Joe Biden, and then I got Hallmark holidays.
Did you grow up with Hallmark holidays at all? Oh, so you didn't have too much to sort of...
I really grew up on BET. I grew up on BET. BET movies where the cuss words are every 3 words.
I asked this man about Hallmark holidays. He said, no, I grew up on BET. It's just like, did you read any Sports Illustrated? No, I had Jet Magazine. Ebony.
There you go.
No, I did have Jet Magazine all the time.
Dude, Jet.
I used to flip over to like page 39 or whatever it was. It always had the beauty of the week.
Beauty of the month.
That
was not. But now, like, because every time I think about I'm thinking about Lifetime movies for some freaking reason. Every time everybody say Hallmark holidays, I think about Lifetime movies.
That's why that joke makes a lot more sense if you're referring to Lifetime movies.
Yeah, because
Hallmark holidays is nothing but sweet shit.
Yeah,
right. It's the same story over and over and over again. It's just different, and sometimes there be a lot of the same actors They just cycle them through this system.
The holiday season. I think I've seen a couple Hallmark movies, holiday movies. They recycle those actors in every holiday movie.
Every single one.
It's so weird.
They're getting bread though.
But I mean, like every time I think about Hallmark, I think about Lifetime.
Oh, because those are deeper. Those are deep. That has a deeper, darker link there.
Yeah.
So that's why you thought R. Kelly and Whitney Houston.
Yeah, I immediately thought that. I swear, like every time, and even now, when you said that, I was like, grew up on BET. I'm like, dog. Every time I think about Hallmark movies, I think about Lifetime, and it's like maybe because that Whitney Houston movie was not it or something. Like it's in my brain. I don't know why I can't get it out.
In the last frontier, we've touched on it a little bit of this therapy block, this therapy apparatus that you've been building with all these different avenues that you do all these things in. First of all, you just got a lot of energy. Why do you do so many things? What's going on with you?
You know, all right, we're going down to a valley once more. All right, so the reason why I got into podcasting, one, I wanted to connect, like I said, the DMV and everything like that. At the same time, I was expecting that at one point. I was expecting my first kid.
One second, when you say you wanted to connect, does that mean that you wanted to just learn what was out there and how people are doing things, or you wanted people to have a hub to come and share or just both?
Both.
Okay.
Both. And I knew that. So at the time, my wife was pregnant. And I got certified clearance for this, so she get mad at me. I'm like, you cleared this, but she had miscarriage. Okay. And this is around the time where I just lost my dad. She just lost her dad like last year. So it was just trauma. So we lost our first kid. But during that time while I was prepping, I was like, all right, I'm going to cut down my training in jiu-jitsu. I'm going to have to cut back. I wanted to like, all right, I can go down to the comedy club down 20 minutes down the street, do my little bit, come back. I'll be having full energy whenever and you need me to trade off, whatever. Same thing with podcasting. I do podcasting in my own complex. So I'd be downstairs for an hour, 2 hours, come back up, no problem. So for me, that was the first avenue I thought about. It's like, all right, I can't do my main thing, which is jiu-jitsu. What other things can I do to actually sustain how I want to be active? So that was my main hub. That's number one. Number two is I just like doing lots of shit.
Okay. And you've always been that way. I'll honestly say my wife has made change for the better to
be able to do the things I want to do. I've really put everything onus on her. Every time I get on mic, I always put onus on to her because she did, VCU nursing school, worked 2 jobs.
One of those.
And she was a hustler. She's still a hustler. And I was like, all right, I'm just working at Buffalo Wild Wings and BJ's. I need to step my shit up. Cause she going places. I ain't doing shit.
And Buffalo Wild Wings was a damn party.
That was a party.
We got, all right.
Before
we'll get to that.
We gotta get
put
to
a mark in that.
I definitely gotta talk to you about Buffalo Wild Wings.
Bookmark.
Oh my God, dog. Oh my God.
Bookmark.
But nah, like, so that was my main reason for that. So then when time passed and like I said, so then my wife miscarried. I was like, nah, I love doing this. I want to keep on doing it. And I've flexed my schedule enough to be able to do it. I talked about this, off mic, but it was like, this week I've been outside. And I'm able to do that because my wife lets me do what I want to do. For example, Monday I was training. Tuesday I was, Tuesday I was at the open mic, for shooters. But that afternoon on my lunch break, I was training over jiu-jitsu at Pentagon.
Fire.
And then Wednesday I didn't do jiu-jitsu that night, but I hit the gym that morning and I did my open mic there. Same thing Thursday, did the training there. So I find time to be home. Main thing that I learned throughout everything is how can I find time to be home? The other thing that kind of works everything with my schedule is my wife stopped when she got out of nursing with her 12-hour shifts. And shout out to any nurse that's watching right now because y'all do a hell of a lot of shit and y'all don't get paid enough. And she got more to 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 with the dermatology job. She's more home now. So it doesn't seem like she doesn't see me. I don't see her. My schedule flows with her. It really depends. If you really want stuff to work with your partner and you want to do all these things, make sure your partner is your best business partner as well, because she'll guide you or he will guide you to where you need to be. Like if you feel like, my wife told me straight up, she was like, May's coming up. I don't think you're going to be able to do the podcast enough because we got this, and this. Took a sit back. I was like, she's right. I'm going to be overextending myself. Had to cut back. And I can be able to do training and or open mics. And that's just what happens. And then when I come back, it's just like, all right, cool. I can fit my time in and do different things. It's just all about timing. Like, I always feel like if you can do multiple things, you're more valuable to anybody. But I also want to be able to show when I have my future kids or my nieces and nephews that when they come of age and like, man, I want to do this, all this. I want my people to say, hey, go to your Uncle Will. He'll show you how to do something, or he'll tell you how to, hey, you want to do this part. This is how you navigate through that. So for me, it's always been, I just love what I do, and I don't get tired. Like, when I'm home, I'm home. I'm not, and Rose, no, I'm not a clubber. I'm not a partier anymore. Jiu-Jitsu killed all that shit. Cause you party, you ain't gonna be, right. You ain't gonna be doing Jiu-Jitsu like that. But if you're really about your game, really about your training, I just filled my time up what I can do for the rest of my day. And luckily enough, when I got done with my second degree, now I have time to do it. When I have my school stuff, I won't be able to do any of this. But since I'm out of school fully immersed into society, it's like, yo, I got enough hours in the day. I can do something. So that's how I take it.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Do we need to get into Bdubs?
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, because how long were you there? Because I got there and you bounced very soon after that.
Do you know the story how I bounced? You want to go into that? I can tell you the good story how I bounced, bro.
Yeah, we need that.
All right, so I think Dan, white guy, comb over. You remember him?
No.
Skinny. No, he must have left by that time.
Yeah, he probably left.
Plus managers come and go.
Because we're talking about managers?
Yeah, man.
See, I had
I know Diego's was my guy when I first got hired. I know he back over there now.
I forget. I had the dude that looked like Seth Rogen.
Oh, fat chunky boy. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
So he was new on scene. Dan, I think, was the back end. He was the kitchen manager at that point now. And I think there was another guy that was a kitchen manager. I forget. He had little hair, blonde hair, whatever. So my section in Bdubs, here's how far my schedule was. So when BJ's opened up down the street, it would be like this. I'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings Friday night and Sunday morning, so I can keep my shift for the football season in the fall.
Important.
It's very important because you ain't on that schedule and you're on their shit list. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I kept those 2 days, but on my Fridays, I'm supposed to be on the bar on that where I forget, they changed their shit out now, but there used to be seats on the other side and it'd be happy hour on one side of the bar. All right. And I had the teachers. I had the Marcel Middle School teachers. I remember this to this day because they had me as a kid. They had my sister as a kid. They knew me. They loved me. I know their orders off the top of their head. They'll pay me out a good cash out and I'll make my money for that Friday worth my time at Buffalo Wild Wings. So Seth Rogen, he decided to put me in, he did this 2 weeks in a row. He put me in dining room and I was pissed because 1, I'm not supposed to be there. 2, my guests are on the other side. They're requesting me. I'm not going to take up someone else's section as proper waiters etiquette.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cover up someone else's section because, oh, that's my people. They're asking for me. No, fuck that. They're in the bar. That's their shit.
It's a good code of ethics.
It's a code of ethics. It's not like that no more around here. But yeah. So when
people are grimy.
Oh my God.
Yo, servers, stop stealing other servers' tables. That's crazy.
I don't get that.
People really do that.
I don't
on the regular.
I don't get it because back in the day,
it's a jungle.
It's a jungle out here. But back in the day, you would get popped for that shit. You get popped. I don't care. But so
back to the teacher.
Back to the Seth Rogen. So I'm angry at the manager, and they already know I'm working at BJ's because I was working at BJ's Saturday night. I took Monday off. Monday night I was working at BJ's, and then Tuesday was my day off, and Wednesday I'll pick up a shift here and there. And when I was talking to that manager, I was like, look, I'm supposed to be in the bar. He's like, no, you're going to be in the dining room. Well, I was like, we got a problem because they asking for me. And he was like, I don't care. They can ask for you all you want. I'm not going to move you over there. I was like, all right, cool.
And I just remembered his name too, by the way.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I look at the back schedule and I see they took me off for the following Friday. I was like, all right. I just only had one table and they haven't paid out. I have no cash in my pocket. I'm going to walk off shift. So I walk off shift. I was like, screw this, fuck this. Y'all can have my keys, all this. Bye. I get down to glory days. I get a call from Travis. Travis hit me up. He was like, yo, man, I tried calling Travis in the back room, in that back pod, right? I tried calling him. I was like, yo, cause I was pissed off. I was like, I wasn't trying to walk off shift. And I tried to call him, but this nigga wasn't answering.
He was supposed to be your good conscience?
My good conscience is not leaving. But my good conscience didn't want to leave.
He didn't pick up the phone.
Now just thinking about that. He didn't pick up the phone. So when we did all this, right? I said, I'm quit. I'm done. Travis called me. He's like, yo, Buffalo Wild Wings called me saying they want you back and to cover your section and all this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'm already 2 drinks in, sir. I'm not going to come back on shift drunk because I can get in very serious trouble. And they're going to fire me by the end of the night anyway. So why the fuck are we even talking about this? He was like, good point.
Yeah, good point.
Good point.
Solid.
Where are you at right now? I'm at Glory Days. He's like, all right, cool, man. I'll swing by. So me and Travis, we had a couple beers, drinks in. And then he was like, yo, man, what do you want to do? And I just turned 21 a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And I said, I've never been to the casino because I turned 21. Haven't been out there. So we went out to the casino at MGM. MGM wasn't around by then. We went to Arundel Mills. And I had $200 in my pocket. No, $200 in my car. Took that shit out and lost it all.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was really, really hoping for a happy ending there.
Nah. But it was a beautiful time because like I got done with Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm over at BJ's. I'm good to go over there.
Get some drinks with your boy.
Catching up.
Straight to the casino. Lose it all.
Yeah, lose it all. Because they kept on playing me about bartenderships. So I was like, nah. Because me and Trav, we look alike. So I was like, yo, man, y'all can have both of us back there. And we had the part. They missed out on so much marketing opportunities. Anyway, that's next morning, right? I get back. Travis drives us all the way back because I'm fucking lit. And I remember getting in my car. And I remember getting at his house. And it was 2 a.m. That's the only thing I remember. And we left the casino about 1. He was whipping in my car. Get there, get home, wake up the next morning. My dad's like, you have a good night? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like I'm groggy, but I'm playing it off, walking it off, right? I was like, you do anything? I'm like, nah, I didn't do nothing last night. I just got home late, working, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, I ain't gonna tell them. I'm 21 at this point, living in my parents' house. You're not gonna tell them hey, I quit my job and I went to the casino and
especially some money. You said this is like a hard dude. Like,
yeah, he
ex-military.
Yeah. Both him and my mom. So here's the funny part. So I get through breakfast. Breakfast good. I get a call while I'm going into BJ's for the morning shift. He was like, don't you ever fucking lie to me again. Because your Bank of America card got into the negative in my checking when I took out the $200 and I have notifications on your account.
Damn.
I was like, nigga got me trapped like the FBI in this bitch. Damn. Yeah. And then I think probably 6 months after I left BJ's, I got to Northwest. I closed out my accounts after that moment. I was like, nah.
Wow.
Yeah. He still had my stuff unlocked like that. I think my sister's stuff was not unlocked like that.
Was he just trying? Really? No. That raises questions now because I was going to ask why that exactly was the case.
My sister was 24, 25.
So you feel like he just kind of saw her as more as a full-fledged adult that wasn't going to quit her job and go to the casino in the middle of the night?
Like, yo, if you don't...
That is a wild move, my nigga. But you young, too, so...
Yeah, you don't give a fuck.
That's what you're going to do at 21.
I mean...
I was doing wild shit at 21.
I mean...
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Like, when you're 20 in the DMV area, if you were a child of this area, the casino was the last run you had to do. Because between 18 and 20, you've seen some shit.
That's very true.
You've seen some shit.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it was like the 21 was like, all right, that's the casino run. That's it. That's all you got. That's all she wrote, bro. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I mean, but Buffalo Wild Wings in general, I had no, besides the bullshit managers, did they still do the, are you employed?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Haven't been there for probably 6 years.
All right, cool. We can talk shit. Yeah. All right. You remember Baller Fridays? Bottle Fridays.
No.
So me and Trav way back, right? So we started bringing bottles in our trunk in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we used to do it before fight nights. So cause when you deal with fight nights, you're there till 2, 3 a.m. off some bullshit. Cause it's the same motherfuckers there the entire fucking night and they leave you $40 on your tip. Yeah. Strong nights. So we used to drink on shift cause it's like, nigga, we just babysitting these motherfuckers. It got out of proportion.
I'm certain of it.
Oh yeah.
Way out of control.
Oh, way out of control till it turned into a team meeting. I remember this shit too. Cause me and Trav, I think they found out maybe 3 months later, and there was a team meeting along amongst other things. It was like Diego, and I think the head V supervisor above Diego, I forget his name. I remember his family because they all were cunts.
Take a shot at the whole family.
You ever seen a kid that was so privileged that he starts wearing black clothes?
Wait, when you say black clothes,
I'm talking about jerseys, the do-rag, the hat backwards, the chain.
Actually, now
yeah. His son was like that. It was horrible.
The do-rags is the hilarious part. That's the best part.
Yeah, oh my God. It's like,
getting these waves right.
What waves do you have?
So cape out too.
Yeah, so there was a whole meeting and me and Trav showed up fucking drunk as a skunk. Me and him sleeping in the back. Like, we didn't give a fuck. Like, cause at the time, they were reaming the people that got caught. Me and Trav never got caught. We just started the shit. So we had that was Ball Fridays. I'm writing the whole squad out for this.
Bottle Fridays.
Oh my God.
Because you made it seem like that was something that was sanctioned by Buffalo Wild Wings.
There was managers in on the take.
I'm certain of it.
Oh, there was managers in on the take.
No, that does, I completely believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what era you in, you gonna see some. It doesn't get less crazier. Mm-mm. It's just whether you in on the crazy or not.
Yeah,
there's always something going down.
Yeah, like the group was fine, but man, I swear, dude, like that whole Buffalo Wild Wings, that whole thing from the concerts. Oh my God, I hated the concert crowd.
Did you, or did it depend on who was coming to perform? Or you just hated people coming to tailgate there?
I hated people tailgating there because sometimes it'll be hit or miss on depending on who you get. I remember the only people that did well were the people that, not even well, it was just a big group of them. It was about 20, 25 country heads that I grew up, I went to high school with them, and they would come in every single time. And they did decent sometimes, and then there's sometimes I'm like, bro, y'all ain't need to be out here for like 3 hours after the show. So it's like, the concerts, nah, like the rap concerts, that ain't no problem. But the concerts, the Sunday football bullshit sometimes was outrageous. I could not understand how a kitchen could be so backed up when you have the same people for 6 hours. I don't understand what prep work goes into that. Not shouting my kitchen people, but goddamn.
Shout out to Stanley.
Oh, Stanley was still. You had Stanley, my G. Yeah, Stanley was OG with me.
Yo, drop 200 wings, Stanley.
Stanley was
all flats.
Shout out to Stan, bro. That my OG. That OG, triple OG.
Yeah. I met a lot of. See, that's my thing. Is a lot of times I can't speak on other people's experience working places.
Yeah,
but you can experience some bullshit while you're there. But it's such a beautiful thing to sometimes you can have the wherewithal to know that you're dealing with the bullshit, just like you and your wife taking that trip and you hungry and you just like, you told me you was going to feed me. And sometimes you can have the wherewithal to sort of detach from that and see it from a third person perspective and be like, this is bullshit. This is like, I'm on some bullshit. This situation is some bullshit. In same way at your job, at your current job, for anyone listening, I'm dealing with some bullshit, but you can look from the outside and be like, but it's really okay though.
Yeah.
It's really okay. And you're going to look back at this with laughs and it's going to be good nature and good vibes. Like, it's just, you met a bunch of cool people there.
Oh, yeah.
You maybe hopefully extracted some good people out of there and you actually have some real friends that you took from there and you left everyone else behind.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got to do that too.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I look back at it. I met a ton. I actually still have to this day some pretty decent friends.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Time. I think everybody, whoever you served and came up with, you're going to meet some people out there. It's going to be amazing. You're going to meet some amazing people. You're going to meet some crazy people. And it's going to be very interesting how each one comes across you. And they're going to be coming with, like, I love all my Bdubs people till this day.
Shout out to Saneet.
Oh, Saneet. Freaking Autumn, Amani's sisters. All 4 or 5 of y'all. I love all y'all.
Yeah. Toto, Shay, Dottie.
Yeah. I remember Shay would, no. Which one's the youngest? I forget
that would be Shay.
Shay, yeah, because I've met all 3 of them at different stages. It's crazy. I remember Shout out to, I think Cassie was still there, if I recall. Shit.
She's at Hooters now. Yeah. Snapchat isn't lying to me.
Where? I remember Anne Marie. I think Jessie Bauer was still there.
I believe Anne Marie may be on her second child.
Yeah, she on her second child now. Congrats to her.
Yeah, people man. Time just goes. There were so many Bdubs and a lot of service industry just in general are just parties. Mm-hmm. They're just parties. They're people drinking, they're smoking, they're fucking, they're popping pills. That's when I started learning about that. Like people like popping Adderall. Like that's when I kind of came across that and saw it happening in mass. People going into bathrooms doing coke. Like getting a part of
I ain't no beat up like that.
The food and beverage industry, yeah, and you like start learning how people stay up for and pull 3 doubles in a row. You start realizing how they do that. It isn't good sleep at night, right? You know what I mean? Like they come in, they got the Monster, they got the Red Bull, they got the Starbucks, they got the caffeine pills, and they got the Adderall and the Coke on deck.
Yep.
And then they have a little bit of weed and drinks to like even themselves out at some point.
There was not a shift that I was not high at. There's really not a shift. I'm really not bullshit.
Which is hilarious too because it's serving. Now I used to go smacked a lot of times too, but like when you serve sober, you realize that going in there smacked and serving that's a wild decision to make. Because serving takes such quick analytics and prioritization, right? These people are kind of like looking around. I feel like I should go make a round over there, touch the table. Oh, but I got to go get this order in. I actually have an order I actually have to put in. Oh, they need somebody to run this stuff in the back. Okay, can I walk over here, pick this up, clear this table, talk to this person, go over here, get this bar drink, take this order, and then meet back over here and help run this food? Like you're trying to prioritize all of these different things. And then when you're on the route to doing all these things, you're going to get a couple more tasks. Because some people are going to ask you to come help them run this or can you come do this birthday announcement for me? There's just going to be a bunch of wild shit going on all the time. So it takes wild prioritization. So to be high as hell and to be trying to do that, you don't give a fuck.
It was zero fucks given. But here's the thing I did though. I always made sure for my serving shifts, I always show up at least 10 minutes early.
Okay.
Because I wanted to come into that mindset of, I'm smack right now, but let me get everything organized for myself so I can be the best person I can possibly be.
While smack.
Nice.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be like, I'm rushing like 5 minutes late, everything behind. See, you gotta have your trip in a good way. You gotta be timely because everything about service is time. I wasn't the one that be smacking like, I'm gonna do everything from memory. That ain't gonna do it, bro. It ain't gonna do it. It's not gonna do it. I write down everything. I make sure I flag them, all that stuff. I remember it to the T. But there was not one shift. Not one. In my service time between BJ's and Buffalo Wild Wings where I was not high as fuck off weed.
And that's what's also impressed me about you as well, because I was never a super, I want to say functional, but I should say productive smoker.
I've always been a productive smoker.
Yeah, see, because you're running around here and you're doing all these different things, and more so than just doing them, just the simple fact of showing up at a comedy club and telling jokes, or just showing up at the place and rolling with the people, or just showing up when you told somebody that you're going to record a podcast with them. Like, you're showing up for these things, but you're doing it with efficiency.
Yes.
Like, you're here preaching about time management.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, you have conditioned yourself to be the productive smoker. Because it didn't start like that, right?
No, I've realized my strand, I love hybrid sativa high. Okay. And or sativa base, because of the fact that if I'm doing indica, I'm doing indica to go to sleep. I cannot function. That's the one thing I realized. I cannot function off of indica. I can function off of sativa. Straight up sativa, I'm straight. And what I do is I don't smoke. A lot of people think like when I smoke blunts like on my way there, finish a blunt, roll another one. No, I don't do that. I roll a nice little fat one, and every move I make, I'm like, I smoke a little bit here, put it out, smoke a little bit here, put it out. So that one blunt lasts me the entire day. So I'm just getting a buzz really, but I'm being productive with that buzz. Cause sometimes some people are lax. For me, if I'm busy and I'm high, I'm good. And it's kind of weird because I programmed my body like that. With serving, it was it was hit and miss sometimes. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot easier to do it on football Sunday because you only had to deal with a certain amount of people. And once you get that in, you're like, all right, my buzz is good. But there's sometimes where it doesn't really work out. And it just depends on that person. For me, it's always been, when I'm smoking, it's like, what is my purpose of doing this? Like, so for me, it's like, if I'm doing smoking for a comedy show, it's just for me to relax. If I'm smoking before a podcast, it's like, all right, I'm out and about and rolling. Let me de-stress. For me, smoking's always been about relaxing. That's just the main point. It's just the time dawned on me that I'm just very, very freaking productive. And the time management, I grew up, not only my dad was a Marine, my mom was a Marine too, the man Okinawa. So they always preach time. They always say, you're on time, you're 10 minutes early. Like, I've always been predicated on my time. But even though I got an East African wife now, it's bad.
Damn.
I always Jonah her time, bro. It's a common thread in my household. But when I talk about being productivity, is that I don't want to waste your time. When my main thing is I don't want to waste your time. You probably got something to do after this. I got something to do after this. That's number one. Number two is if I'm here 10 minutes early, all right, cool. I can chill in my car a little bit. I can blast my music a little bit. I can finish my coffee. I can smoke a little bit more and then get dressed and ready, set up and go. I always preach time because a lot of people will give you opportunity because of how timely you are than how you are productivity wise. I love myself. I was always early for like any interview, all that stuff. Don't ever show up late. That's just me. That's just me.
That's insane. Showing up late to an interview is crazy.
You know what's the craziest part? Like, even when during COVID, I did all these interviews on Zoom. I'll probably be in the Zoom call probably 5 minutes early. On top of that, with my hair right now, I did my interviews all in afros. And I never did that because the stigmatism of like haircut, all this stuff. Like,
the very first thing that you ever said to me was, you gonna want to pick your fro out, man. That's what you said to me. Mm-hmm. I came in there, my hair was nappy as fuck, and that's just how I wore it. Like, I just wore it like just super nappy.
And isn't it weird?
Now look where we are. You said, yo, you gonna want to trust me. These people, like, you should just, like you'll see it. Like, they'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, damn, like, really? Now I changed my whole hairstyle, like, recently after that. And it may have had something to do with you telling me that. But I thought, damn, like, they're going to be looking at me like I'm crazy. Because that was just something I'd be so high and just be frolicking in flowers in my regular off time that I wasn't even thinking about the way that people were looking at me and my hair. That was so far from me. My head was in the clouds.
Honestly, knowing now and how acceptable it is now, back then, yes. Now I wouldn't. I'm like, dude, do what you need to do. And serving is so much more than serving tables. You have to be. I remember every Thursday, Friday, I would get a fresh cut before work. Friday night, I would get a fresh cut. I would get either lineup. Second week, I would get a fresh cut. The reason why, well, you got fresh money coming in. The reason why is because everybody's going to be like, oh man, this dude got he's nice, well to do, all this stuff. That's just the militant in me. That's first number one. The number two is like, I always made sure I had smell, all that smell. You never want that aroma. I've been some.
That's worse. That's the worst. God. You can't roll up on it because it'll.
I've been in so many situations where I'm like, bro, I can smell either the cig off you, or
just the ass off you.
Yeah, like I can name a handful of times. So I always make sure when I smoked, I always make sure that my jersey was in the trunk. Or my shirt was in the trunk. I made sure my undershirt, I'll switch out even my undershirt because of the fact that I just didn't want that smell on me. I'll make sure I'll be laced up and good to go. But nowadays, man, I don't care what your hairstyle is. But back then, it is so judgmental. And maybe I've been out the game, y'all, so it was so judgmental back then. I think that like a lot of people switch up their hairstyles because of that.
You may have just grown into yourself and just been like, yo, man, listen, like, be proud. Just do what you want to do and it'll fall where it falls. As long as you're keeping yourself look kept.
It's kept up.
That's the thing, because you can still have nappy and natural and all that sort of stuff, and it's kept. Yes. There's a difference. There's a fine line between these things.
Yeah. And the main thing was you were front seeing, you seeing people all the time. I don't see people anymore. I'm working from home. I can do whatever I want, bro. Yeah. So it's, to me, I feel bad for that, but I'll tell Travis the same thing when he's like, man, I'm getting a little afro. I'm like, all right, bro, you gotta cut a little bit, or at least make it nice. No one at that time now understands the black hair process. No one. Now, they're probably a little bit more accepting because of the fact that got all these ethnicity movements, stuff like that. Hold up. When is Juneteenth? Is that this weekend? Oh, no, next weekend.
Next.
Oh, God. All right, cool. Gotta make sure I can get out of that. But, nah, I was thinking about like hair and stuff. I'm like, isn't there something that Joe Biden gave us that we didn't really want? Oh yeah, it was Juneteenth. But
that we didn't really want.
No, everybody was talking about everything else, and he's like, "I'll give you Juneteenth." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I could use a holiday."
Yeah, people take it. They like to hang out.
Yeah, you know,
barbecue.
Look,
I went to one last year. Was it last year? Maybe year before.
Yeah. Look, and you grow up in the culture, you have that, and then at the same time, people don't understand. Like, look, when Donald Trump gave that $1,400, I guarantee you were not mad at Donald Trump. I guarantee you that. But at the same time, it's just people's priorities are different. But back to the hair thing. I feel like I'm Chris Rock right now, without the slap. Nah, but with the hair thing, man, it's just so, my process with my hair has been different. I always wanted to grow out my hair. I just never had a time and affordability to grow out my hair and see me as, especially with us in our complexion, our particular complexion of being dark skinned is always never been a good look.
Yo,
not even trying to roast.
This is going wild.
I'm not even trying to roast.
Turned into a wild pod in the last 5 minutes.
Hey, bro, I told you I was gonna bring heat, and you're gonna be like,
"It's never been a good look." I feel so. This is where you could say my head has been. My head was in the clouds when it was just in a fog because I was smoking so damn much every day.
Do you smoke now still?
No, I don't.
Oh, nice.
So half of my money at a point in time went to purchasing weed, and the other half went to buying food and feeding the homeless. So that's what I was doing with my money. I could have done it better, right? But I was just high as hell, and I was young, and it was just like the height of my hippie stage. Like,
everybody got it,
right? Yeah. So that's all I was worried about. But that had to transcend into a newer version. I still have a lot of these elements in me, and I think they're beautiful because they're open-minded, and I connect with people, and I'm creative. And so they had to just mature into a different part of me, a different version. And so now it's not that my head is in the clouds, and that is why I'm not aware of how other people look at me. I just think that I'm going to live within truth. Yeah. And so I live on the grade of my character.
Facts.
And after that, I mean, yeah, like I clean my beard up, shave my head off or whatever, and I just like to be hygienic.
Yes.
Right? But aside from that, I'm never going out just thinking, man, I really hope they think that I'm a stand-up guy because I'm looking like this, or what if they don't think that? I might lose out on an opportunity. Because if I get a chance to speak with you, and you're not fucking with me, there's something else that's misguiding you, or that's blocking you, that's causing blinders because I don't fit into some sort of mold. Yeah. Then we're not meant to do no sort of business. We're not meant to collab.
And that's facts. And that's facts. I also think I take in consideration of what I'm saying is that at that time, we had a lot of, I wouldn't say mash. We had a lot of cases with black men. And some of them was just for the look of their skin or for whatever their style was. Or you can name them. There's whole shirts. We fill up shirts now, unfortunately. And I think at that time, a lot of us was just black man to black man, amen. Just be safe, be presentable. That's it. Now we just don't give a fuck because we've been so tired of playing that narrative, like you said, of being safe. You guys I have to fit in, all this stuff. No, I took that kind of narrative in the way I work. Like my previous job, before I got to this new tech job, I realized that my lingo and my way of saying things was not really, I would say
it wasn't as prevalent and prominent in that field.
Yeah, because I was probably one of 3 black people in the company, eventually down to the only black male in the company. It got down to I mean, I never got flagged for what I wear or anything like that. But my attitude was so nonchalant that people didn't really understand me. And a lot of people didn't really know how to approach me in a certain extent. And then when people were being disrespectful about certain things, that's when I got a problem. Let me give you this tidbit about how disrespectful it was, because I guarantee you, and this is, like I said, peaks and valleys. This is another valley, y'all.
Let's do it.
So when my dad passed, right, I already maxed out my PTO, and they were okay with it. And I was like, all right. They were like, take your time, deal with your family, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I got to like that Tuesday.
What is it called? It's not grievance. It's is it? I thought it was like, is it
bereavement?
Bereavement.
There we go.
And bereavement is not paid. If you've maxed out your PTO, then bereavement is not.
They still paid me.
Oh, okay, okay.
That one they still paid me. They gave me at least that respect, but they gave me till Tuesday of that following week. My dad died. My dad died Tuesday. I was off for 2 days. Yeah, I came back Friday. Yeah, so. Excuse me. I got off till Tuesday because we were still doing the whole funeral stuff for like the following week or 2 weeks later. I remember on my way out, I told my boss, I was like, hey, there's a situation with this one ticket. I don't have the information. When you get the information, please do this for me, blah, blah, blah. He was like, yeah, I got you, Will. Go ahead and you got to do your stuff, right? I already told him my dad passed. By the time I got back Tuesday, it wasn't done. The customer was upset. My manager at the time sent this information to a different team who his rank, and again, this is militant, y'all.
Pulling rank.
I'm pulling rank here, but he's a VP and she was a team manager and she did not do what he needed to be done. And then they come back to me all huffing and puffing like, well, you need to get this done. I was like, my bad. He told me, I thought this was done by them. It wasn't done. I'm so sorry. I'm like, all right, cool. Sent it over. Got it done. Right. Had like 2 days and then I had to go off for my dad's funeral and whatnot. Come back that Monday, they give me, hey, Will, you gotta have a meeting with such and such about that situation. And again, I'm the only black man in this room. And my manager is a white male and the VP above him is a senior VP is a white female. So they go over the situation with me and they were like, well, why didn't you get this done? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, my dad just died. And I told them what to do with it. And from where I'm sitting is, someone on your team did not do the exact thing that Brian said that I'm sorry, just cross his name. But I don't give a fuck. Cause he no longer works there either. So fuck him too. And so many fuck yous around. So someone was insubordinate to Brian. Why is that person not in this meeting as well? Because I can understand how I messed up on my end, but why are you giving the same attention? She couldn't answer that question. She was like, well, this is just a warning and just letting you know. And do you accept? I was like, no, I don't accept this. This is why are we even having this conversation? I just died. My pops just died. I do not expect this from anybody by giving me something about a ticket, more or less because of my pop, like, cause I was not wrong.
It's wildly insensitive.
And it's wildly insensitive. So, while I'm doing this, as my voice getting bigger and bigger, and she just rushes off the phone. And at that moment, it was like maybe a month later, 2 months later before I actually scratched that. But after the holiday season, about 2 weeks before my birthday, they cut me because they had a survey go out. And I guess I didn't like their survey and boom. But yeah, it happens. But they preach so much about collectivity, about all that stuff. I'm like, well, every person you hired was suburban descent and male.
This usage of suburbia is hilarious. I mean, when I go to a comedy show and it's more suburban descent and male, and not. I wasn't even mad about him being a male, but it's like not even representing women. And it's kind of funny how I'm saying this, y'all. Everybody's like, man, Will, you tripping? Let me tell you this. To this day, there's still only one black female there. The only senior VP that was a female, who I just talked about, is no longer there. You tell me where the math. If there's only one black person, there's all male cast. What do you think is going to happen? Like, and
the inconsistencies I did not like. I mean, I'm happy I'm out, but it's just like, it's not just about color for me. It's also about representation and other factors that bother me. Like the insensitivity, you know what I mean? And when people are like, oh, you're pushing back, you shouldn't be pushing and just take it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to take it. And when you don't take it like that, they don't see you as an employee. They see you as the angry black man. And that's the coat that I'm okay with now.
So this is where hair got us.
This is where the hair got us.
This is where hair got us.
It actually happened when I got laid off. I was like, no, I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna just grow out my hair. And I did all my interviews through
So
afro.
you grew your hair in spite.
In spite.
Wow.
In spite, because I was always told that regardless of where I'm at, my voice does matter. This what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And then again, when you had that full surface moment of, oh, this company's preaching this and preaching that, and then you see how they falter between the other lines. Like, we don't, as black people or as someone of any descent, you see what people do by their actions. You don't see by what their words are anymore. Because we've seen words for as long as we've been alive. It don't always plan out what they say. So when I start seeing them not doing what they say and the disrespect that was coming my way, and I guarantee you, someone else recently passed during my own time frame. Someone in the group's family recently passed. No one gave them smoke. And she was a white female. No one gave her smoke.
You mean she was from suburban descent?
Suburban descent,
yeah,
yes.
That's what you mean.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I had a correction.
So speaking of words and actions,
yes,
and hopefully those matching up.
Yes.
When it comes to your podcast platform, I mean, I've watched a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going out of your way to try to represent women, and if so, what are you doing differently, if anything at all, if you know you're having a woman on the podcast?
So one thing I need to do, and I need to preach and practice what I preach. I need to have more female guests on there. So ladies, if y'all have anything, please DM me. Not personally. But
hey. He is married.
Yes. Unless you want
leave
African
him alone.
Spear coming in your head.
Leave him. That's crazy.
It's really, bro.
Did she clear that joke?
Yes.
Jesus Christ,
bro. I'm telling you, I get clearance. I have all this time out.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway.
Okay. All right.
But
and I'll make sure to throw all your information in the description. Yeah. Go find the stuff in the description.
Yeah, but I used to have a female co-host. Miss Aria Jackson, lovely person. She does,
she's a doula, correct?
She is a doula. Thank you for reminding. She is a doula. She is a pole dancer. Always love and respect her. Great time with her. I wanted her on my show because it brings in a black female or any kind of type of female onto the show, but things didn't work out and everything like that. But I would like to have more of that because I have one of my good friends, next month, coming on that. She does locks. She's a Legacy Locks. She owns that and talk about that business. But what I look for in bringing female, anything that you do, I think females definitely run the world. I think that they are very intellect in what they want to do, what they perceive as, and hearing their stories. What really bugs me, about what females have told me is that the level of disrespect that they get into their DMs is outrageous.
Yeah, I've had that conversation quite a few times.
Yeah, it's level.
It's kind of wild.
The level of disrespect is outrageous because, man, we can do a little bit better. Not even little, we can do a lot better, man.
Yeah, something just like
what turned off, bro? Like, what makes me say, "Hey, yo, you want to slide my dick tonight?" And a DM that gonna work? How that gonna work, bro? Like, please, like, you want to slip and slide on this dick? Like, bitch, what's that? Like, how, Sway? If, like, come on, dog. I can say that at my chick now because she's married to me. Like,
I just dumbfounded. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I'm glad I'm out the game because, god damn, if I try to be genuine this bitch, it'd be difficult as a motherfucker. Like, god damn. I'm sorry, I'm being real because that's what bothers me the most. Like, these women are getting disrespected, and it's bothersome.
It is. That's wild.
Like, I'm surprised women, y'all don't talk about this y'all do talk about this on podcasts.
Yo, definitely do.
Yeah, y'all definitely do. I was about to give y'all credit.
That's what I want to do. I want to go on some more like women-based podcasts. That's what I want to do and chop it up.
See, I don't want to be the typical. You've been seeing what has happened lately with black men on podcasts and these females shit.
I have them on and it's fun. You know what I mean? I mean, just whomever. I have fun with whoever comes on here, but there's a certain again, vulnerability, and they can be, when you're hanging out with your guys, and this is what I feel like has always been a common trope, like a common theme that has been an issue with hanging out with your guy friends growing up. Mm-hmm. There's just going to be certain things that y'all talk about.
Yes.
And it's going to live within that realm for the most part. Maybe if you can do like I was talking about with my dad, and you can get one of them away for a little bit and it's just y'all two hanging out, something deeper may come out for the most part. But when everyone's hanging out as a group, it don't usually get that deep.
It gets dumb.
It gets dumber and dumber.
Fast.
The more niggas you throw in the circle, the dumber it gets. Right? Usually speaking.
And over exaggerated too.
Right. But when I'm around women, it doesn't seem to be like the theme of it.
No.
It doesn't seem to get that way.
No.
Much more vulnerable, much more open to just talking about, ping-ponging ideas about all different sorts of stuff, and being open and honest about it as we are capable of in that moment. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful time. So I have a great time with it. The only thing that I really try to do is, walking from the car here back to the car, right? Because you're talking about DMs being wild. It's a real threat and a real fear for many women to walk from a car to a house.
Yes.
Especially if it's not noon and the sun is at its highest point.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, that's real. Mm-hmm. So, like, just, small things like that, just trying to be considerate in whatever ways I can figure out, can muster.
Nah, man. Like, I think this situation is so bad. I feel bad because it's like, I know most of these guys did not grow up like this or be this. Like, I understand you're going to be straightforward sometimes, and you might get lucky off on nice and that it ain't cute. It ain't nothing.
That's the thing, is you have to think, because that's not, for the most part, like, we're adults now.
Yes.
So that's not the first woman that they tried that on.
No.
And so I'm thinking, what is the percentage? Like, what is the hit rate?
I want to see the batting percentage on that line.
That's what I'm saying. And if some women are down with that rhetoric and they're accepting those propositions, then they're getting some backing. They're getting some reassurance. Like, oh shit, like, okay.
See, I don't blame women when they post certain stuff, be more promiscuous online or anything like that. It's your body, your choice, whatever. I learned that very, very early with my wife. My wife does pole dancing. I remember one of the first things I had a conversation with her about, because she posted something online that I thought I was like, that's a little too much. And I remember as soon as I said that, I was like, well, that ain't nothing compared to what you see. And I was like, you know what? This is not a fight that I'm probably going to win.
Do I need to die on this hill?
No, I don't need. And I really would love to see the batting percentage, because I'm like, dude, y'all can't be like that. Most of the women I know,
y'all can't be like that.
Yeah, most of the women I know are very smart, intellectual women that love to show their sexy side. That's fine. That's great. Because like, I don't expect nothing less from you. Not saying nothing less like, oh, you don't have no brains. No, women, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, you want to show your side in a certain way online. That's fine. That's completely fine. You shouldn't feel harpered by what you get in your DMs by that, everything like that. But turn the point of my podcasting, I would love to have more female cast, because I think that I did Farm the Couch, which was the dispensary one. That was an all female LBGTQ. Thank you. I was going to mess up that letters. In the words of Dave Chappelle, I don't want to conjure that wrath. Nah, I'm not famous enough. I'm a F-list, famous people out here. But anyway, the one thing that she was very big on is bringing females together and being united, and it really spoke to me, because it was like, she wants to do that for her community, and men out here can't really say that. And when I see, I'm not saying like Kevin Samuels, because some of his points were a little bit out there, but it's these hot clickbait situations that these podcasters get in. I'm like, I want the full clip. You can take something and make a judgment on something within 6 minutes of a clip. Because, for example, I showed the clip to my wife. It was about one black guy and a room full of women, so it was on Spiritual World or some other Embracing Black Coach, some other IG, right? And the black guy asked the woman, he's like, what do you bring to the table besides food, clean up the house, this and that? I can get all this bought. And she brought it. He said like that. Wow. He said like that. He said like that. She was like, well, I make the house to home, all this stuff. Like, I make all this stuff house to home, like the Southern tradition. And what he immediately said back to her was, I can get all that I can
pay
for that. I can pay for my groceries to be at the front door. I can pay for this. So what are you bringing to me? And that's what he was saying. And I sent it to my wife as a joke. And of course I had a conversation about it. But I told her, I was like,
a passionate one.
She tried to make a fight like the whole house or home thing. I was like, but babe, if you really want to be on, what he's saying is, I can buy that. What can you make me that's what can you increase me more? Or besides doing the normal house stuff, can you, like for me, it was 3 things. I told her this and she was like, okay, I understand. I was like, I gotta see how you build. I want to see how you build personally and with your friends. I gotta see how you move. Okay, I gotta see how you move between you and your friends. That's 2 different things and it can be elaborate on everything else. And the third thing I have to see is how are you my peace? Those are 3 things, simple things I asked for.
What's the last one? How are you my peace?
How are you my peace?
All right, explain that one.
So that one's like, are you my peace? It fits kind of into what I was saying earlier. Like, do you make my life harder for me? And in terms of, do you make life easy? My wife makes my life easy. Not saying what she does for me, but how we interact with each other.
How you all build together.
How you my peace? Are you bringing me with more solutions and problems? Are you bringing me more? I'm bringing a steak to the table. Do you have a tomahawk in the back for me? Like that's how I say, how are you my peace? I don't say that as like, oh, I need someone like me and my wife, we straight. We don't need no really money, but it's like that's my 3 things. Her stuff is different from mine. Everyone loves differently. I don't expect her to say the same thing as me. That's fine. A lot of people don't understand that. But for men, we're not really, I want to say really now is like, make I understood what he was saying. Let me backtrack this. I was into what he was saying. He was like, what can you make of that? And that's what I read from it. But I understand my wife's same point is like, I can make your house a home kind of conversation. I can understand that too. But I understand what his viewpoint was. I can use money. Are you worth more than money? And when she got in that, she's like, I didn't really think about it like that. I was like, see, this is a conversation that can be elaborated on, not just a 6-minute clip of, oh, you can do this in the house. You can cook clean. No, you can be bought. No one elaborates, oh, you can be bought. That part he never elaborates on. I was like, if you elaborate that to these women, because men, I understand we're very short in the way we talk. These women want more words. If you say something that quick, I guarantee she's going to be coming back at you with knives. Like, it's not as simple as a chess move. You have to elaborate on that move for that person to understand how you move. So, yeah, man.
I would have to agree on that.
Yeah. So when I had this conversation with my homegirl Gemma too, and she was the same way. She was like, he was really legit answering her question, and my wife tried to make it with all men. I was like, see, you can't do absolutes.
That was that always you talked about.
You can't do absolutes.
You can't do that. You never do. You always do. We can't do that.
You can't do absolutes. Right. There's some men that will say this, and they won't elaborate it. But you take that as, oh, he just say, I can be bought. No, it's not like that. It's like, how can you be my peace? He basically say money don't mean a goddamn thing. I can do what the fuck I want. What do you add to it?
But I'm asking you, intrinsically, what do you hold? That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Intrinsically, where does the value truly lie?
And your ass and titties. I can tell you that. It is a very nice asset, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a very nice asset. Yeah. So, sir, this here is called the Any Last Words Pod.
Ooh, yes.
It's called the Any Last Words Pod. Well, for various reasons. This is gonna have neither here nor there, but we do like to leave off with some last words for the people.
Okay.
You don't have to go first if you want to try to cook something up. It could be about anything we spoke about today. It could just simply be, it could be whatever comes into your mind. Anything at all. I will start off with, first and foremost, this was fun.
Oh, this was hella fun.
This was interesting. Just even the way it happened. Haven't seen you in I don't know how many years, aside from just again passing each other at the gym.
Yep.
Because it's been like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, that's Will. Like, that's that guy. Yeah. Like, that's definitely Will. And I think I've seen a glance from you. Like, I think that's Earl. Like, I've seen us have that interaction.
So, is that the same black man?
And so now we know. Okay, so now we know. But yes, after all these years to come back and be able to do this, because we never were able to foster any sort of relationship, because again, you walked out and went to the casino.
Yes.
So we were never able to foster any sort of relationship. So I'm really glad that we were able to do this, and I'm excited about coming and doing your podcast as well. That'll be super awesome.
Yes.
So thank you for coming and spending your time here, because you did not have to come do this, and I don't take that for granted at all. I thank you for coming and giving me off air all the game that you gave me, and I will be in contact with you for more.
Yes,
because I do like to learn, and that's been one of my biggest things about doing this podcast is I love listening to people, and I just sit back and just let people, you said, spin those wheels, and you just sit back and you just learn.
Yes,
because everybody brings something to the table that you don't know about. Yes, you just can't. Yes. You can't know about it all, right? And so, especially with your own flavoring of experience and where you've grown and all these different things that you're doing, all these different disciplines that you're honing in on, all these different crafts that are super fucking awesome. Jiu-Jitsu, comedy, podcasting, you're in the IT field, like you're doing all this sort of shit. Yeah. And that's fucking awesome. So you're already in just a very, magnetic sort of character. Yes. In and of itself. Yes. So thank you for coming here and doing all of this. Again, like I said, I will be talking to you about some more of this stuff, because it's the marketing and the technological side of things that I'm going to be taking some leaps in. Okay.
I gotta talk to you about off topic about the marketing, because there might be a girl that you might want to holler at, and she's really dope, because I'm about to holler at her too. So we're gonna get into that later. But I'm gonna say first thing, you said I did not have to be here. Yeah. I wanted to be here because I want to see my people grow. And we've been in passing. I was like, oh no, this is a perfect time. We can actually chop up for once and chop it up and actually have that. And then the vibes are great. But before I'm going to leave the people is this, I'm going to say, always move, never stay settled. You always want to move. The reason why you want to move, because if you don't move in this world, you will eventually not adapt to this world. Whatever you're doing, if you're a typewriter one day, you want to be a novelist, go ahead and try to be a novelist. If you want to, you're good with people, you're good with everything, help out with the homeless. Do what you can do in this world and be great. And always move. Do not ever settle. And I will say that and take that with whatever relationship wise, work wise, however you want to do it. Do not settle. Always push that envelope. All right. That's all I got, man.
I love that. And on just to piggyback on that, when you say do not, or just continue to move and do not stay stagnant, do not get complacent, challenge yourself, move around, do something, spark something. I tweeted this the other day, is your mind is a muscle. Your brain is a muscle as well. And if you do not use it, it will atrophy. Yes. The same with all these other things that you have to keep moving as well. Keep it all moving. Continue to learn something as well as moving your body around. You do not want to lose it because that will happen. Yes. This is episode 122.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Thank you, sir. Thank you again. Peace, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Peace.